What if everything you've been told about fat is wrong? The food that's supposedly killing you might actually be the key to saving your life. I'm talking about saturated fat. And if you're struggling with stubborn weight gain, blood sugar issues, or you're just tired of jumping from one failed diet to another, this information could completely change your health journey. Today, I'm breaking down the real science of fats and showing you why a diet high in animal fats might be the solution you've been searching for. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could be the difference between managing medication forever or potentially reversing your diabetes. Welcome back to the channel, where we cut through the nutrition nonsense and get to the truth. Before we dive in, if you're new here, I'm Kevin, a dad, husband, entrepreneur, and curious person who's bringing awareness and helping people take back control of their health through education and a basic diet. Let's start with the basics. What exactly are saturated and unsaturated fats? Saturated fats are fats where all the carbon atoms are saturated with hydrogen atoms. Think of them as straight, stable molecules that typically remain solid at room temperature. You'll find them in animal products like beef, lamb, and butter. Some plant sources like coconut oil and palm oil. On the other hand, unsaturated fats have one or more double bonds between carbon atoms, creating kinks in their structure. This makes them typically liquid at room temperature. There are two main types: monounsaturated fats, found in olive oil, avocados, and certain nuts, and then polyunsaturated fats, found in vegetable oils like fatty fish and most seed oils. Here's what's crucial to understand and what mainstream nutrition gets wrong. The molecular structure of these fats directly impacts how your body processes them. For decades, we've been told that saturated fats clog arteries and cause heart disease. But let's look at what the latest science actually shows. When we replaced saturated fats with processed carbs and vegetable oils starting in the 1970s, diabetes and obesity rates just skyrocketed. That's not coincidence. Here's what really happens. When you consume excess carbohydrates, especially refined ones, remember those Twinkies and bread, white Wonder Bread and those things like that? Your body converts them to fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. This creates a type of saturated fat, but in a context that promotes inflammation and insulin resistance. The saturated fats from animal sources, they're different. You see, they provide stable energy without blood sugar spikes, support hormone production, help with nutrient absorption, maintain cell membrane integrity. What's more, saturated fat consumption actually correlates with higher levels of large, fluffy LDL particles, the kind that aren't associated with heart disease, rather than the small, dense particles that are problematic, and polyunsaturated fats from seed oils. They're highly unstable and oxidize easily when heated, potentially creating harmful compounds in your body. Now let's connect this to diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is fundamentally a disease of insulin resistance. Your cells stop responding properly to insulin, forcing your pancreas to produce more and more until it can't keep up. What causes insulin resistance? Primarily, it's the chronic overconsumption of carbohydrates and sugars. When you constantly spike your blood sugar with carbs, your cells eventually become numb to insulin's effects. But there's another factor that's often overlooked. The type of fat in your diet affects your cell membranes and how they respond to insulin. Membranes with more saturated fat are actually more sensitive to insulin, while those with excessive omega-6, polyunsaturated fats from seed oils, can promote inflammation and worsen insulin resistance. This flies in the face of conventional advice to avoid saturated fats and load up on vegetable oils. The science suggests that the exact opposite might be true. This brings us to the carnivore diet, a way of eating that focuses on animal foods and eliminates plants, especially carbohydrates. It's high in saturated fat and protein with virtually no carbs. Here's how a carnivore approach might help reverse diabetes. First, eliminating carbohydrates immediately stops the blood sugar roller coaster. No carbs means no glucose spikes, which means no insulin spikes. Second, when your body adapts to using fat for fuel instead of glucose, a state called ketosis, your insulin levels naturally remain low. This gives your cells a chance to regain their insulin sensitivity. Third, the saturated fats from animal sources provide clean, stable energy without the oxidative stress and inflammation caused by processed carbs and seed oils. Fourth, protein from animal sources has a minimal impact on insulin compared to carbohydrates, while providing essential nutrients for healing. Many who've adopted a carnivore approach have seen dramatic improvements in their blood sugar markers within weeks, often reducing or eliminating their need for diabetes medication. Don't just take my word for it. Let me share some real results from me, a real everyday person. I was pre-diabetic. I was born in the 70s. So I adopted that lifestyle of eating lots of carbs and even vegetables and plants. I actually tried very hard to lose weight throughout my life, and I've always struggled with weight. Even when I was a child, I always loved eating meat. And my parents always said, no, meat's bad for you. Don't use butter, use margarine. And my mother would buy every sugar-free out there. And she really thought that she was doing something really good. Now that I've gotten older, I have found out that I think it's the opposite that is true. I look at my family and I look at my grandparents. They never had weight issues. I actually believe the food is what harmed me and made me insulin sensitive and struggle with weight. Even though I was an athlete, even though I was very active my whole entire life, it's the food. The food is what is the problem, and we need to get back to basics. So since I've adopted this lifestyle in almost a year's time, I have lost 65 plus pounds. I've got my glucose under control. I eat carnivore, dabbled with lion diet, and occasionally I won't be as strict as other times. And I'm not saying that it's one way or the other. You have to find out what's right for you. But what I'm trying to say is that diet can heal you. And I've seen it heal myself. My mind is sharper. I have much more energy. And again, I feel fantastic losing the weight. And all that I did was cut the carbohydrates, cut the sugar, and I went to a meat-based diet. And I've shown the results. I'm walking the walk and talking the talk, and I just want to help people. So again, this result is becoming more common as more people challenge the conventional wisdom about fats and diabetes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't all that meat and fat bad for your heart? The evidence doesn't support this fear. Multiple studies now show no causal link between saturated fat intake and heart disease. When carbohydrates are restricted, what about fiber and plant nutrients? While plants do contain beneficial compounds, they're not essential. Your body can thrive without them, and many plant foods contain anti-nutrients that can worsen gut issues and inflammation in susceptible individuals. I was one of those individuals. I find that I do much better without plants in my diet. That might not be you, but it is for me. Is this sustainable long term? Many people have followed carnivore diets for years with excellent health markers. The key is focusing on nutrient-dense animal foods like organ meats, fatty cuts, and seafood to ensure you're getting a complete spectrum of nutrients. If you're interested in trying this approach, here are some practical steps. 1. Start by eliminating the biggest offenders: sugar, processed foods, and seed oils. 2. Gradually reduce your carbohydrate intake while increasing healthy animal fats. And number 3, focus on nutrient-dense animal foods like grass-fed beef, eggs, and seafood. Monitor your blood sugar regularly and work with a healthcare provider who understands low-carb approaches. Give your body time to adapt. The full benefits can take several months to appear. Remember, this isn't about a temporary diet. It's about finding a sustainable way of eating that works with your biology, not against it. If you found this information valuable, do me a quick favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this information. Drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway or question about fats and diabetes, and I'll personally respond to as many as I can. And if you're serious about taking control of your health, click on more of my videos to learn more about how you can take control of your health and possibly find financial freedom. Next week, I'll be breaking down more health and money-related topics to help you live a healthier and more financially free life. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. Until then, remember, your health is in your hands. Sometimes the path to healing means questioning everything you've been told. See you in the next one.